We're told as sales professionals and leaders to always be prepared. Be prepared, make sure you're prepared for that presentation, don't show up unprepared. 20 years ago, I was a salesman for IBM, and what that meant was I had 13 zip codes on the south side of Chicago. Well, one day, I went to a company that was a drop forge. I didn't know what a drop forge was, but I showed up, I was looking good, my blue suit, my white shirt, my red tie, I had my briefcase full of brochures, I was ready. And in those days, they said, call on the president. So, sure enough, I called on the president, and he was kind enough to give me some time. We went in a dingy conference room. Here was this guy, second or third generation, obviously knew what he was doing, dingy overalls, me in my blue suit. We sat down at the conference table. About 12 or 13 minutes in, I discovered what a drop forge was. In this case, about 40 feet through the conference room wall was a 40-ton piece of equipment that fell 4 stories and punched out metal golf club heads. And when a 40-ton piece of equipment falls 4 stories, it makes a tremendous racket. So I'm sitting there in the middle of my pitch, and all of a sudden, wham, this thing drops. And I jumped up out of my chair and said, what was that? And the guy said, son, you don't know what a drop forge is, do you? And I said, no. The next thing I knew, I was out the door. So, be prepared, right? We always say be prepared. The difference between a bullet point on a slide saying be prepared and a story is that the stories are more memorable. And I use that story, so we talk about stories and lessons and applications. I use that story when I'm trying to prepare sales teams and get them into the habit of getting ready for a customer appointment. Would have taken me 2 seconds to look up what this forge did, and I would have at least had the respect and the credibility to have done a little bit of homework.